Is here first. And it's Monday and we are live. And Nancy and I hope everybody, as we always say on Mondays, had a wonderful weekend. And
Yes.
looking forward to a positive um, week ahead of us. And Janet Lee is the first person in here waiting for us. Hello, Janet. And Janet, literally, I was just thinking about you because I'm going through one of my books and the pages are getting loose. And I'm thinking, oh, I can take these out and put this in that beautiful book that Janet got me. And I looked up and there you are in chat saying hello. So there you go. There you go. So
Yes.
we'll give it a few minutes as people, slowly start to come in. And so, Janet, we hope you had a good weekend. Thank you for, you've been popping up in a lot of my lives lately, and I really appreciate that. Um, I know it was fun yesterday with Urban Forest, popped up and did a live on his channel. So we had some wonderful readings from Mr. Urban Forest himself. And
Mm.
then you were there with Allison and I on Friday, and I think a couple of other pop ups. So it's always nice to see friendly faces in the chat. So it says we have two, so we might have a lurker. Hello, lurker. Thank you for joining us. And to make sure that we subscribe to Miss Nancy over here and to my channel if you are so. If you're, I can never think of the word that I always use when I'm off camera. If you're so inclined to, if we resonate with you. And there's Irene. And
Yeah.
Irene, I was thinking about you too today because I was going through my Goddess Days book, looking for the goddess that I'm going to be mentioning from, the Celtic harvest. And Irene is in here. She's believe a Greek goddess. So you
Ah,
have a name that is a goddess as well. And she goes, "You're the looker." Woo, ha, ha, ha.
my
So,
grandmother was named Irene. My
yeah,
my paternal grandmother.
I had a cousin, Aunt Irene, but her nickname was Reenie. They called her Reenie.
Ah,
And so she was trying to get into the door. Heather, did you get your PayPal? Yes. Janet, thank you. I did. Um, that was an interesting read with the two. Yeah, that was something else. Usually, sometimes I forget readings because it's like, you do them, the message gets out, and then usually it's on to the next, and I don't have, but, you know, I'm glad that I know you said it did
love an
resonate with you.
Irene.
So thank you for letting me know. And yes, I am the Greek goddess of peace, love, and
He's
grooviness.
making
There
me
you go.
laugh. I
Very
love your
cool.
sense of humor.
So it
Yes,
says we're showing
grooviness.
four. So today, Nancy and I were going to start. We're going to start talking about because we're coming into the harvest season.
Mhm.
I'm not going to go too into detail on the Celtic pagan holiday of Lunasad. Today, I'm going to give a little bit of history, but I was able to find a goddess, a Celtic goddess that is connected to that holiday because it's a Celtic Sabbath that's coming up, and so I'm going to be sharing her. And then we're going to hand it over to Miss Nancy, who wanted to discuss Hecate and her connection to the harvest. And also, Nancy and I want to share, and I think we both think this is going to be a very popular. I know I was like, great idea, Nancy, when we were backstage talking about the goddess and menopause.
Yeah.
Where we are in life, with whether we're, past it, we're just coming into it, or, so I think that is a great topic
Yeah, I am
to
here to
talk
tell
about.
you, you will survive.
Yes. It was last night or the night before. It wasn't like super heat where I had to run outside, but I remember throwing the cover off and just laying in bed and just feeling the sweat just dripping off my body. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we are going to get started. So, this Friday, I'm going to do a little plug too. So this Friday is the Celtic pagan holiday of Lughnasadh, and it's the beginning of the harvest season, and it's named after the Celtic god Lugh, which I'll get to in a minute. But that day as well, I am going to be joined by Jonathan Daly at noon Pacific time, which will make it 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, and it'll be 9 a.m. Jonathan's time in Hawaii. And we're going to do our first live painting together since October of last year. So we're very excited to do a live, and he'll be working on a painting. I'll be working on one of mine, and we invite everybody to bring whatever they love to do that's creative, that they can hang out with us, you know, chat.
I love that. It's so much fun to watch you all. It really is.
So in this place here, I think I have more room to wiggle where I can kind of show more of the process than I did over at the other place. So just put that out there. So this Friday is August 1st already.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yay.
And let me start. So it's the Celtic Pagan holiday of Lughnasadh. It's pronounced a couple different ways, but I pronounce it Lughnasadh. That's one of the ways. Or it's also known as Lammas, if it's easier for other people to pronounce. And it's one of the 4 major Gaelic festivals celebrated in ancient Celtic culture, marking the beginning of the harvest season. The festival is named after Lugh, the god of light and skill, and signifies the importance of the harvest in the lives of the Celts. And the god Lugh, is also part of the Tuatha Danann, and his foster mother is going to be the goddess that I'm going to be sharing today. But traditionally, it occurs around August 1st, and it's a time of gratitude, celebration, and community. It embodies themes of harvest, feasting, and honoring the deities associated with agriculture. And just skipping ahead a little bit, he actually, according to the myth, in honor of his foster mother, and her name is Teal'c, he creates. So it says here, one of the well-known stories is that she was said to have died after clearing the land for agriculture, symbolizing the sacrifices made for the sake of the harvest. So a type of game was celebration was created, and I'm trying to find the name of this. So the article that I'm looking at, if you don't mind the pop-ups, it drives me a little nuts with some of the pop-ups, but it's Celtic Mythology Worldwide.com. And so it gives a whole little, statement of explanation of the holiday and the games. And I'm trying to find the name here because I did mention it at least once in this article. And so just give me a second, Mundo. And now they're not going to show it to me. But there was a type of celebration named after her for that. Come on now. I have to find that because we are talking about her today after all. I mean, this is a really good article, but this might have been a different article that included the name of the festival. But it was named after her that is really weird. I could have sworn it was right here in this article. But anywho, I will find it at some point and I will share. Maybe it was on the Wikipedia. I try to kind of avoid it. I mean, you get good information from Wikipedia. But I like going to some of these smaller sites. And how interesting they left that out. So anywho, let me get out of here. And let me go talk about it. It may very well be mentioned in here. So goddessgift.com is where I have information on Teal'c. And she is the Celtic goddess of the land. Pop-ups. I hate these pop-up videos. Okay, so I'm going to show it just a picture because there's really not a lot of pictures, but for this website, this is her. She's the foster mother of Lugh. And this was really, the information here is from Melanie Smith, but according to ancient Irish mythology, the goddess Teal'c is the adopted mother of the god Lugh, Thank you. Sorry, my coffee just arrived. Sip, sip, everybody.
Ah.
Oh, that's nice and hot. Woo, hoo, hoo. She is closely associated with sovereignty, the earth, and agriculture. Um, the abundance of the land, fertility, and prosperity fall under all under her. So here we go. So to be the namesake of the Taltian Games. So that was the games that Lou created in honor of her sacrifice, of giving of herself, so that the harvest. And another aspect of Lou's stories too is that um, the male, and this is something very interesting. Maybe I might say this, but for a little bit later this week. But in other world tradition with the mythology with Lu, he was the one because a lot of times the male is seen as the wheat, the harvest, and that has to be cut down and sacrificed so that his people may live, which, as you may sound like, is very similar to the Christian, story as well. Um, but moving forward with her, um, she's a powerful mother goddess and was committed and women and was committed so committed to the harvest that she sacrificed herself, clearing vast areas of land ready for cultivation by her people. Lu, to honor his foster mother's sacrifice and spirit, instituted the Taltian Games to ensure her memory and that her legacy would live on. And I love this picture too of her. This is beautiful.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So somebody used that from Pinterest. Um, Alrighty, so she is linked to Lughnasadh and Lammas. This harvest celebration traditionally honored Teotihu as well as her adopted son Lu, and gives thanks for the land's bounty. So let's see, this is coming together. Um, season fruits and vegetables, local farmers markets. People come together nowadays for homemade jams and breads. Decorations in honor of her, wildflowers, candles in yellow, orange, green, and small sheaves of wheat or corn husks. And let's see, they also give a recipe here
Mm.
for crab apples, for
Ooh.
crab apple sauce. And so I recommend this website as well. It's goddessgift.com.
Okay, let me write that.
And so they tell you how to make crab apple sauce. And let's see what else do I want to share from her. It's all about creativity. Telly too is powerfully linked to craftsmanship and creativity. So learning a new skill or taking up a hobby that's long interested you are great ways of getting closer to this goddess's essence, including carpentry was mentioned as well. You can learn dance, and embracing, whatever new hobby or even life itself with optimism, enthusiasm, and an open heart. Also, she is a great goddess to tap into if you're trying to clear out clutter. And now that I'm mentioning clearing out clutter, I wonder if Alice is going to pop in and say
Yeah,
hi, because she is
I'm in the midst of doing that. So what goddess is this again with the clutter?
tailored to. So
Oh, okay, yeah,
says
she's
here, just as Taylor too works to clear the
yeah,
fields and facilitate the annual fall harvest, we can
here.
follow her footsteps and sweep away clutter from our own homes. Set aside some time to have a spring clean, or in this case, fall clean, and clear away items that no longer love or no longer serve you. Recycle or donate as much as you can, sending each item on its way with love and best wishes. So, yes, it continues on with some more things. So, I highly recommend, and I'll go ahead and type that when I'm done with my Goddess Days book with her. But, and one of the things too, in a way to honor her, is going out to nature, unplugging from electronic devices for an hour, at least try to do every day, and being
Mhm.
mindful and giving thanks for what we have.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was just going to type that in, Janet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in the Goddess Book of Days, shed a little light on love, expressing it outwardly. Let's see. Living on a majestic hill. Taylor, too, the Irish mother of light, built a brilliant palace where all manner of festivities and games were hosted in her honor. She is the goddess of the robust month of August, whose name means increase. The Mother of Light calls for celebration. Let her shine her blessings of abundance. Take a look all around you today and give a gracious bow to everyone and everything you are grateful for. Um, Oops, this is small print, so I just lost. There we go. This is a propitious time to make a phone call to someone you haven't spoken with in a while. You know how time just flies. Well, right now, call them. Don't email them and tell them how much you appreciate them being in your life. It's not always enough in relationships to slide along thinking that others know what you're feeling. Make a call to your mother, aunt, sister, nana, and niece just to check in and share a few lighthearted and loving laughs. Loving is up to you. Light work can come in many forms, including healing, meditations, house cleaning, body work, body play, creative expression, and dance. Basically, anything that opens and illuminates something new, especially ideas, is considered expansive. Either in broad daylight or full moon musing, let your inner being glow. Keep in mind that the spirit of light is not to vanquish darkness. Both are equally honored in the goddess tradition. Each one is a direct and necessary complement to the other. Shine on. I radiantly I am radiantly alive. I shine my love, light, and joy. And that is Teala'c. All righty. And let's see. Irene agrees with you. Oh, I need help with clutter. And
I think most of us
hi,
do
Chris.
now. Heather doesn't because she has, she's just moved in and
I still have
everything is
clutter.
pretty well, but I was going to say just give it a few months.
Having to start all over again with furniture and how expensive furniture can be,
Oh my
even
gosh.
on, even the ones that are, you know, it's still, and then you
Yeah.
got to
Oh,
put
I
the
mean
stuff
everything is so,
together,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's difficult to do. So yeah, everything's a lot of stuff is still in boxes and backed up to a wall, and only what I need at the moment is, you know, what I have out.
Yeah.
So let's see. And Britt is here. Hello. Oh, she just wanted to say hi. She'll watch playback later. Thank you for stopping in and saying hi. Making sure I did not miss anything else.
Now the goddessgift.com is the one that has the recipes.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I wrote it down. I
A
just want to make
recipe
sure I
for
got it.
bad apple sauce.
Okay.
Let's see. So Britt is at work. Thanks for popping in.
Well, I'm going to look and see if I can find some other Lunesta uh,
Who? What?
or llamas recipes.
Lunasan?
Yeah, um, I was thinking, when you were talking about this in the research that I did, it's really interesting about this festival and how I wonder what percentage of people here in the United States celebrate it.
You mean Lunasan?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's the same as llamas, right? There's just two
Well,
different
it's
words for it.
interchangeable.
Uh-huh.
Lunasad is more, from what I understand, the term used for people who follow and respect the Celtic Pagan tradition in their, whether it's their solitary
Uh-huh.
practice, their coven practice, or whatever. But it doesn't even have to be Wiccan practice. It could be,
Mm-hmm.
also pagan. But it's part of the wheel of the year, and this is like the beginning of the harvest
Mm-hmm.
festivals. So yeah, we have a nice little, we still haven't been to it yet, but every Tuesday they have a farmer's market. So as it gets
Oh,
closer to autumn, we're going to
yeah.
make sure we get down there for that. So
Oh, yeah.
and of course Lunasad is, Lu is short for Lunasad. There's a different couple of ways of pronouncing it, but a lot of times they'll put lamas for people who have a hard, because reading Gaelic is sometimes difficult when you look at the names. That's why I love that you can just type in name, pronunciation, and they'll give you a couple videos with,
Yeah. Heather's
pronunciations
trying to
of the
get me
name.
to do that because I murdered. I just am very bad.
Well, to me, it's a form of respect to the goddess,
Yes.
or the truth. So I try. I mean, they're like I was telling Nancy, there are names in here that I come up with. I'm like, oh dear. So if I have a chance, I will try to jump on my phone and make sure. Okay, remind me again. How do I? So I still need to go through this book and find each one and write it phonetically so that moving forward, I try to you know be able to properly pronounce the goddess's name. And Irene shared something else really quick. I have a lot of my daughter and mom stuff to go through. Oh, both passed in the last
Oh,
year.
so sorry.
Oh my goodness, Irene, I didn't know you lost your daughter. And if you
Mm,
did mention it, honey, I am so sorry that I don't remember that. But oh my goodness, honey, I'm so, so sorry.
yes.
Oh, I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Okay, let's see. Shiva is pronounced Shiva. So Shiva is my name in Irish and it's pronounced Shiva. It's a hard language to pronounce. Yes, I have tried and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I've even asked
Mm,
Jackie's Crystal Moon a few times, girl, I need help with this word. I hear too many ways, and I think a lot of it's getting butchered. I need how do you say
hmm
this so I properly, because I have Irish ancestry too. So I want to try to make sure that whether or not, those relatives, follow the old ways or, or had any sort of respect or they would honor them, that I would try to be able to do the same for them by
hmm
learning the names. And Irene said, I don't mention it much. Thanks, Heather Nancy. Well, big hugs to you.
Yes.
Big,
Yeah.
big, big hugs.
Mm.
Um, so I think I'm going to, we go from Celtic to Greek. So take it away, Nancy.
Well, when I started looking at this holiday, Hecate came up, in some of the things that I was looking at. And one of the things that says that I found is harvest and transition. Lammas marks the beginning of the harvest season, a time of abundance, but also a transition towards the darker, colder months. Hecate's association with transitions and liminal spaces like crossroads can be seen as relevant to this shift. The goddess of the crossroads, she is known as the goddess of the crossroads, which can be interpreted as symbolic in the choices and paths we face during this time of the year. And her connection to nature, while Hecate is not solely a nature goddess, her connection to the natural world and the cycles of the moon can be honored during the harvest festival. And personal devotion is some individuals choose to honor Hecate during Lammas as part of their personal practice, recognizing her multifaceted energies and incorporating her into their celebrations. Now, uh, I don't, Hecate is not one of my goddesses, but I think she's absolutely fascinating. And I found something about her regarding Demeter, Persephone, and Hecate, the three of them, and like the triple goddess aspect. And on that
Hi,
page,
Maruta.
there was a hmm?
Just saying hi to Maruta
Oh,
really quick.
Maru's here. Hey, Maruta. A meditation on the cycle of the seasons is sit and reflect on the traditional seasons, the changing landscape, the fertility and growth of spring, the harvest of autumn, and the barrenness of winter. Thinking about how you could acknowledge the changing seasons and the traditions between them, perhaps by cooking seasonal ritual feasts to share with family and friends. Find and keep some symbol of the seasons as a marker of the natural rhythms of the earth. Whatever your environment, acknowledge the cycle of the seasons and their rhythm. And also, when I was looking at this, I came across something that was talking about, how things used to be. And I know from my own family, back during the Depression, my father and his parents and his younger sister had to move from Dayton, Ohio, back to their family farm overlooking the Ohio River in Indiana, and they had to grow their crops. And my father was not really fond of green beans because their green bean harvest was just a, a magnitude of green beans, and he got so tired of them. But living back in that time, you know, the what you ate and what was available during the seasons, it was more marked. I mean, there were fruits in the spring and summer, and then there were, like, you know, the winter type vegetables in the fall and winter. And now when we go to the grocery store, there's frozen foods and foods from all over the world that are brought in to where we can pretty much have anything all year round. And I think that's very, very interesting, you know. But what I one thing that I found that I really liked, I wanted to share this with you all, is the I found a poem on Hecate by Rosie, Rosi Caswell. And the other day, Heather and I were talking about darkness and light, and about how, I'm all the time talking about light. Be the light, okay? And I mean, it everything can't be light. I mean, if we had sunshine all the time, I mean, it's so nice nowadays. It's so hot here and it cools off a little bit at night. So I'm very thankful for the darkness of night and the stars and the moon. But I just thought this was a beautiful, I thought it was a very profound poem. And it's titled Hecate. Hecate, goddess of darkness, queen of the night, whose powers and presence abound out of sight. Why do we so fear the blackness? For 'tis the other half of reality, the opposing force to light. And to balance both together means longevity of the meaning of life and being. Can we grasp this concept of being, not afraid to go forward, and combine both dark and light, and accept that the queen of the dark dimension does not epitomize evil or fear, but balance and joy absolute, with no contention. No anger to deal with, either further or near. No fear, but to banish unto, on the levels of spirals of all that is true, and combining the balance of darkness and light for eternity. I just thought that was beautiful. So I wanted to share it with you all. So that is what I have, on Hecate. And one of the things that I was thinking about for myself is on the 13th, I want to have a family dinner. And I want to have recipes that represent this festival for my family. And it would be something to celebrate every year. Start a new tradition, do things in the spring, in the summer, in the autumn, and the winter. And that's what I've got.
Nice. And Lunasa/Lammas is known as a Sabbath in the tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you can say festival, and people say and a holiday, but it's known in the spiritual pagan, Celtic pagan traditions as a Sabbath. So it is one of the Sabbaths.
Yeah.
And Baruta was sharing with us that you can basically eat whatever you want at any time of year.
Yes.
Me too. I love a good
strawberries in the winter.
And let's see what else we also have. Irene saying she loves nighttime. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
And Marissa says everything needs to rest too, so we need the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, tell my brain that I have to have help to be able to sleep at night. But yeah, and I can understand how hard it can be to turn off the chatter Eileen says it's been hard turning the chatter off lately for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Little to get you too. So, yep, the starting of the harvest season. I wanted to wear something that had very fall like colors, almost kind of harvesty. Um, and so wanted to wear that to celebrate today. And so Nancy and I are going to do our readings. We always open up for sacred feminine readings. And I put the word harvest in there. So if you would like a sacred feminine harvest reading, let's see what we can start maybe harvesting or what we can look towards, harvesting, or maybe a suggestion from a goddess to work with to help us in many ways of how we can harvest or approach the harvest. Y'all know what to do. Put the me in the caps. And
I
Maruta
love that,
said,
Maruta.
I think I finally got my brain trained. I listen to the same book every time I go to sleep. And now if I play it, I get sleepy. Well, there you go. We find all different ways of things that work for us.
Yes.
I love that. So I have my 3 goddess decks here. I got a couple of tarot and my witch woman in total control of herself deck. And yeah, in the upcoming weeks, because I am such an autumn and fall girl, I want to start looking at the harvest goddesses from all over the world. Demeter is one. There is core mother, the core maidens, the indigenous in celebration. And so yeah, this is like my time of season, so I like that.
I'm using this deck,
The Red Seeds.
the Red Seeds Oracle cards. And it has different goddesses, and it says it traces the myths of the feminine through the ages. As modern women, we can connect and align our experiences with the lineage of these ancient women. Each 40 of the 45 cards offers you a seed of awareness, and select a card to nurture, inspire, and empower you. So that's what I'm going to be.
Well, while we're waiting for anyone to see if anyone would like a reading, we can always do a collective to get started. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
Alrighty, let's go to this deck. So, Sacred Feminine Harvest. What guys can start helping us get ready for the harvest or help us harvest things in our life? And most mini readings are collective anyway, so everybody can take something from.
Yes.
I'm just going to move my keyboard here out of the way. Whenever you're ready, Miss Nancy, because I got to look up the pronunciation for a name.
Oh, okay. I don't have to look up the pronunciation. I can pronounce this one. How about that? This card says, and there's nudity, so if you don't like nudity, cover your eyes. It is the card, I am vulnerable. And it is the goddess Echo. And this is a quote by the translation by Coleman Barks of Rumi. A secret freedom opens through a crevice you can barely see. The Greek myth tells us a sad tale of unrequited love. Echo falls in love with Narcissus, but he prefers only to gaze into the waters at his own reflection rather than pay any attention to her. Desperate to have a relationship with him, she eventually just repeats everything he says back to him. Narcissists are usually in love only with themselves. Narcissus eventually starves and dies by the water. Echo soon also wastes away from grief until all that remained of her was the sound of her voice. The narcissus flower grew where they both had died. A lack of self-worth may make us vulnerable to entering a damaging relationship with a narcissist. They will insist they are more special than everyone else and therefore encourage others to mirror them rather than be their own true selves. Their self-importance is always at the expense of others. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, empathy, and caring. You may deserve more. And the challenge is boundaries, and the gift is self-worth. And I can remember in reading this, I can remember when I was maybe 18 or 19 or 20. I was thinking about who I wanted to marry, and I was active in my church in Southern Florida at that time. And I looked at the people in the church who were married,
Hi,
younger couples,
Pam.
you know. And what I discovered is the really happy marriages were not beautiful people. I mean, not on the outside beautiful people. They were just ordinary looking. And, like the husbands were very attentive to their wives and good fathers to the children. And the beautiful people were so busy looking to themselves and looking beautiful, you know,
Mhm.
um, that they sort of neglected their family emotionally because they were just so busy all about themselves. And I can just remember that it kind of ties into this card. The two other cards that came with this, where we are setting boundaries, and the gift of self-worth that came out is to love your body, let your beauty radiate out. And this is your inside beauty, you know because that's what makes a person beautiful. And also the card of strength came out. Know your strength. So that's what I have for the collective.
Ooh, know your strength. How interesting. So, from the goddesses of the world, I got Wairaka, and she is a Maori goddess from New Zealand. And she's all about leading with confidence. And I don't know if you saw, but Pam has joined us, and she would
Yes.
like a reading. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, the Maori guardian and navigator of the sea calls you to trust your instincts and follow your inner compass. Embrace the spirit of exploration and the courage to embark on new journeys. Just as Wairaka guided her people to safety, navigate life's waters with confidence, knowing that you possess the strength to chart your own course. So that is the goddess that came up for the collective reading today. And then I pulled from the woman in total control of herself deck, and I got the rescuer. And so this is a card reminding us that, sometimes we feel like we have to rescue everybody. We need to make everybody happy. We need to make everybody, always kind of like almost to the sometimes to the point of stepping on eggshells and not really being able to express, ourselves or our thoughts and our ideas. So this is about, not having to worry or have to worry about rescuing people, and to remember to make sure that we take care of ourselves and that we're there to do that for ourselves. And I pulled two clarifier tiles for that, and that makes a lot of sense because this is when we are able to do that. It's a decision. I got the two of swords, so intuitively we know where this lies in our life. So for the harvesting, having Wairaka help us to harvest and acknowledge our own confidence, our own strength, and with when it comes to harvesting, making sure that we are harvesting that type of rescue, that kind of compassion, that support, that help that we give to others, make sure that we focus that on ourselves. And with the Two of Swords and the Ace of Swords, I'm feeling that this is like we know what the idea is we've got clarity, and that clarity is going to be able to help us make those decisions on who we need to basically let go of. We just did a new moon, and I know I did have a card for the collective, I believe, that said something about cutting ties. So at this time, harvesting, we harvest the people we want to stay, and we give back to the earth the people that don't. And we know that we have that insight, we have that clarity. And from the good tarot, Ace of Fire, which is perfect for the beginning of the harvest season. So there's that lantern, there's that light, there's even the color. So that Ace of Fire goes along with the Ace of Swords. So finding new motivation, what's new ideas coming through, just that it's basically the Ace of Wands. So getting reignited, lighting the passions, moving forward. And the bottom is the Four of Air, and we're able to do that again when we are able to rest, when we're able to take it easy, take a step back. And I think too, looking at that lantern, introspection, taking a step back and focusing again on all that energy we would put on trying to make other people happy and make everybody feel good, and the stresses of the world on us, to bring that back and start showing ourselves some of that compassion, and healing and rest for ourselves. So that's what I have for the collective.
That's beautiful, Heather. Beautiful.
So let's put Wairaka. I love that Wairaka, especially when you roll the R. Wairaka. So let's see. Pamela says she is listening to Fall of Civilizations podcast.
Ooh.
Let's see. They're talking about sleeping and puppy dogs. Oh, wait, are that black labs? Oh, I love black labbies. I had two of them, and I named them both Big Mac when I was a little girl and in my 20s. I love black labs. They're so sweet. So sweet. And let's see. Irene says, thank you, Nancy. That's a strong, positive message. And let's see. The second and Ace of Swords. Interesting. She said that she's got the brain wheels going. Once we're able to, use that, have that clarity, and that clarity is there for us. We know what it is and what decisions we have to make, especially not just with our heart, but with our heads as well. That opens up all that extra energy to focus on the Ace, of Wands, and being creative and being inspired, for this time of year. This is when I most get inspired, is during the fall season. And Janice says, I love that both Nancy and Heather's readings are about self-care and nurture. Yes, and love that lantern. All right, were you ready for Miss Pamela?
I am, and I love the cards that turned out, because they all sort of go together. At least that's what I think. So we'll see what Pam thinks. The first one, like I said, nudity alert, is I am resting. And the quote from Rumi that's translated by Coleman Barks is, when you feel a peaceful joy, that's when you are near truth. And the goddess is Pasithea. And this is what it says, Pam. Pasithea is a Greek goddess of rest, meditation, and relaxation. Research on sleep, meditation, and walking in nature reveal how mental breaks increase productivity, clarity, and encourages creativity. Fatigue, running on empty, and burning out often leads to ill health, depression, anxiety, and total depletion. Resting is an essential part of self-care, enhancing our well-being using meditation, yoga, taking breaks and going on retreats can be restorative mentally, physically, and emotionally. Giving ourselves time and space to just be and remember who we are when we are not rushing around is essential for a balanced life. When we stop and rest, our creative and intuitive mind can flow more freely. Doing nothing may seem a total opposition to achieving, but it is necessary. Apart from food and water, rest is our next most basic and essential need. And the challenge is fatigue, and the gift is restoration. And the cards that came out for you, Pam, is Moon Lore, Ebb and Flow. And when I look at this, look, she's sleeping, and to me, there's such reflection. It's like she's dreaming of nature. It's like she's sort of in the womb of the earth. And I just love this. And the rabbit here is asleep. And it's like the rabbit is dreaming of running through the fields. The second card is calmness. Let things settle. And of course, this has a lot of water, and I love that she has the seal right next to her. I think that's beautiful. And the stars are on the water. I love that for you, Pam. And that's what I have.
Okay, let's see. Maruta. Oh, interesting, Pamela. I have tried listening to other things, but Pride and Prejudice, read by Rosalind Landor, is the perfect tone and pacing, and no commercial interruptions. Yeah, I hate commercial interruptions. Oh, good Lord. And Irene says, "Oh, I love the three hairs."
Mm-hmm.
So, Pamela, I was drawn to the obsidian veil. So this looks like maybe some shadow work going on here. Let me just find because they don't do this. What was the page number? Because you got Elizabeth the First in for your read, for your Sacred Feminine. And so there she is, Elizabeth the First. And it says, I may have the body of a feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king. And it's all about crowned resilience, because this woman, I even learned a little bit about her from A Discovery of Witches, and how, her mouth had been, she was in pain a lot physically with ailments, and also, the type of pain, with rotting teeth. I mean, that kind of hitting nerves and everything, because they didn't have dentistry like we do nowadays. So this woman went through some rough stuff. A lot of pain. So let's see, what's going to jump out. She was a skilled and strategic ruler, known for her political acumen and ability to navigate the complex religious and political landscape of the time. Wow. She survived several assassination attempts. Wow. And if we're looking at that in today's, this could be assassination attempts on her character by others. That popped right when I saw assassination attempts. I thought it was assassination of character. And then with the political. So she, however, remained independent and in her sovereignty, in her authority. Drawing this card suggests that your own intellect and analytical abilities are key assets in navigating your current situation. And let me just see what else jumps at me. Trust your abilities and navigate challenges with strength and grace. So again, strength is really coming out with this. So with this harvest, really looking at harvesting our strength, digging down when, even when we're at the store, if we're in a garden, if you have a garden and you're pulling up those, just think of the energy, the strength that you're pulling up with, and knowing that those roots, you go deep down just like those roots, and that when you harvest these fruits and these vegetables, or when you're baking your bread and you seeing the bread or something rise, kind of connecting with that, like on that metaphor, and feeling that energy and seeing that's what you're harvesting within yourself. So it says here, Rely on your own inner resources, stand strong in your convictions, and find fulfillment in your own capabilities, regardless of external circumstances. So I pulled a couple of clarifiers for Elizabeth Pamela, and I got the Two of Water. So this is also about relationships. Standing in your sovereign authority. Um, and these relationships could be why I heard when I saw the assassination attempts, I was thinking about character. They're something that you have dealt with and possibly still dealing with. Um, is our personal relationships, people not particularly liking us speaking our truth. And we try to, like with that last card, try to keep down who we are. Um, I'm looking at your bottom card, the overall energy to go with that, Elizabeth, was the Eight of Air, which is the Eight of Swords. And for that is, you have to remember that you have the ability, only you can ask spirit, we can all ask spirit, for assistance, but we've got to do, the work as best as we can to make that attempt. So with the Eight of Swords, we have that ability to move through, we have that ability to let go of, whatever is holding us back, especially mentally. Letting go of that negative chatter, embracing, knowing that we have the wisdom. Gaslighting just jumped into my head. I don't know, with assassination type of character, if people are, in relationships, are feeding stuff that creates that feeling or impression of gaslighting, where you're doubting yourself or you're doubting your intuition. Um, Standing your queendom, be that queen that you are. And your witch card is medicine woman. You know how to heal others. I think you may be working on wanting to learn how to help heal other people, but that's got to take place, as you got to heal yourself. Trust in that medicine woman that is yourself. You know what your medicine is, you know what your strength is. And I don't know if bear is one of your animal totems, but you do have nature. I also have some crows in here as well. But again, she's holding the light. That light is within you. And so, it's interesting, the medicine woman and Queen Elizabeth. So yeah, that's what I have for you, Pam. Let me get these cards back. All righty. She killed Mary Queen of Scots. Did she really?
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
big time.
you don't mess with Queen Elizabeth. Um, And see, Pam says, thank you, Nancy. How lovely. And I cherish rest. Okay, you saw that. And Pamela, oops, was amazing. I love her story. That's precious to me. Thank you. I don't feel I'm being held back by the Eight of Swords. I feel I'm on the deeper end of the journey. So that Eight of Swords could be something that is part of the past, that is maybe shadow work that you've worked on, or it could be just a reminder, Pam, that not to let those that certain people, or I don't want to just say people, but allow. Well, it doesn't help when people say stuff or do stuff, where we see stuff where it starts to kind of create that mind chatter. So that may be something just to keep on radar. And it's also a celebration of what you have been able to let go of and move from, and being on the top of that. See, I already forgot what the other Two of Water. So yeah.
I love the Eight of Swords, and
Mm-hmm.
I see that card as a card of potential. I mean, that's just me, but it has meant a great deal to me in my life. And so that when I look at a deck, I always look at the Eight of Swords. That's one of my cards to
Your
see.
go-to cards, make
Yeah,
or break
yeah,
cards.
yeah. So I especially love the Eight of Swords in the Mystic Palette deck.
Yes, the one with the bird cage. I haven't looked at the deck in
Yes,
a while, but she's got the bird cage deck.
yes, yes. So
All
Irene, you were
right.
funny.
Huh? Oh yes, Irene. My narcissistic sister is the reincarnation of Elizabeth the First.
She might be, actually.
Hey, you never know. Or as we jokingly
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
Cleopatra's cat. So, but yeah. Um, well, that was the Pam was the only one I asked for a reading. So we are going
Mhm.
on 3 o'clock, which is 6 your time. But
Yeah.
really quick, Irene says there's the English version story and the Scottish version story.
Well,
Ah,
I used to study about Elizabeth and Mary Queen of Scots, and it was so wonderful when I went in to England and went into uh, where they the church where they're both buried. You can see their crypts, and I thought it was interesting because they're buried very close to each other.
hmm.
They're and and I think, if I'm not wrong, that Elizabeth's son became, was he James first? Of He became King of England and Scotland after they both died. I'm not sure. Does anybody know? This is
Hi,
ancient
Carolina.
history on me. Hey.
Carolina has joined us.
Yes.
Let's see. A channeler said that years ago. Oh, a channeler said that years ago. And I was married. Laugh out loud. Hard to believe. But there's so many word similarities. Yeah, it could just be the archetypes too. The same
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
energy. Um, Heather, did you see my email? Um, Not yet. I've had a couple of things going on today, but I will look in my email. Um, so we were just going to end. Carolina, we're doing sacred feminine readings in regards to harvest and what God's can start helping us harvest what we need in our lives at this time as we're moving into harvest season.
Mhm.
Before we, Nancy and I share what we've got coming up and say goodbye, would you like a reading? Seeing that you just came in, so I'll leave that open. You can put yes, you can put no, there's no, just making sure that if you were interested in oh, it's mailed. Yay. So if you want,
Oh, magic mail is so special.
it's okay, no worries. Okay, no rings. All right.
Okay.
So yay, awesome, awesome. I'll have to keep my, I'm so excited. And if people are going,
Next
what are
week
you talking
we're
about?
all about menopause.
Yes. So next Monday, Nancy thought it would be a great idea either on the 13th or next Monday. I think it should be next Monday. I think that would be perfect because we don't have anything planned yet. That We are going to be looking at the embracing the
It was
sacredness
really.
of menopause.
I'm here to attest, if you're going through menopause, you will survive.
Yes. And Irene shared one more thing. After Elizabeth had
Yeah.
Mary killed and stole the Scottish crown, oh, William, Mary's son, who she never met again after birth, I think the story goes, becomes king. Oh
Hmm.
wow.
Yeah,
Well,
I just got the name
back then,
wrong. Yeah, yeah.
but back
Because when
then,
I
people
visited
had to.
Scotland, I went through Holyrood House where I mean, it's just fascinating, the history. It's just wonderful. But I have forgotten. It's been so long. It has been, I don't know, 50 years. And
Oh wow.
but I loved. I mean, since I was, I just had all kinds of books on Elizabeth and Mary. Historical books, and I just found them and their relationship fascinating.
And back then it was like either kill or be killed. I mean, it was very harsh. Not to say that, that forgives people for doing awful things like that, but
Oh, and what
back
was
in,
done in the name of religion back then? Oh my gosh. Those poor
so,
people. Yeah.
and we're still doing it,
Yeah.
still to this day, just, in modern ways. But,
Yes.
all right, Miss Nancy, you got anything coming up?
Well, uh, every Sunday at 7, I'm doing readings with Scorpio Sun Tarot.
Hmm.
So
So nothing
got
else
that
planned
going
for this
on.
week. And if
Don't
people check
don't think
over
so,
at
unless something pops up.
And if you go over to Althea Spirit Whispers channel.
Mhm.
The ladies just had her. Nancy, Lexi, and Althea just had their monthly crone show and
Mhm.
talking about, letting go of relationships as we get older, those that no longer serve us. And then, looking at some of the
Okay.
relationships that we still have, despite some ups
Mhm.
and downs, so that was a very interesting topic for
Yeah.
sure to check then.
And Beth
And
is
there's
here.
Beth.
Yeah.
And she goes, back then. Yeah, that's why I added that little anecdote, saying things still really hasn't changed. So,
Yeah.
and Irene said, it's been a kill or be killed with my sister in this life too. And the list this time too. Oh my goodness.
I
And I,
tell you something that really upset me today, and I don't mean to be political, so please forgive me, but
mm-hmm.
I didn't know if anybody was aware of this. That the Jacqueline Kennedy, Pam sent me something on this. The Jacqueline Kennedy Rose Garden is being dug up and destroyed, and something else is a patio is being put over top of it.
Hmm.
And that just, I mean,
It's pettiness. It really
I
is.
just, that just was so special, that beautiful garden way back then, because I can remember, the pictures and seeing the children play there, and it
Yeah.
just it just hurt my heart.
Beth, I think it did happen before. They tried doing something and then when Biden won, I think they put the flowers
It's
back.
terrible.
So it's going to. Miss Taro D. Well, we can't quite end just yet. I mean,
Yeah, we've got
we,
to.
we, we were talking about one
Hello,
queen.
gorgeous.
We were just talking about Queen Elizabeth the First, and then we get Miss Taro D. So, how
Yeah.
are you doing, my dear? Thanks for popping in and saying hi. Everyone's all like Miss Taro D. So we have to give a few more minutes, Nancy, if you don't mind. So
Well, of
we gotta.
course, of course.
So for people who are just coming in, Nancy and I were doing readings. We were starting to look at the harvest, and we were doing sacred feminine harvest readings. And we had one request from Pam. We did a collective, but if anybody new coming in, Beth, Miss Taro D, and anybody else, Carolina, if any of you lovelies would like a reading before we sign off, please let us know. Bev says the garden began with President Wilson's wife.
Beth, you are a wealth of information. I tell you what.
Well, I think Beth has shared that she's a 7-year-old woman, so she's been around,
Yeah.
to see all the
She's been
different
around the block a
changes.
few times. Yes.
Yep, so she's experienced, Ohio, the Vietnam War, everything. I mean, you
Yeah.
have seen a lot,
Yes.
Beth. So that's amazing. I mean, you probably got to see Janice on TV before. I mean, all these people,
Okay, Beth.
And
Okay.
she used to be a journalist. Oh, how do I keep forgetting some of these things? Whoops. So yeah, she did write it. What did Miss Taro D say? Oh, she has been around the Rose Garden a few
Oh,
times.
okay. Irene would like a reading.
Oh, of course. So, Beth, Miss Taro D, Carolina, if you would, or anybody else would like one, we still have time. Let's see, Irene, which one am I being drawn to? This one here. I always love when Beth pops into chat because she is such a wealth of information. I'll think of something and maybe go think about typing it into chat, and boom, either Maruta has it in there or Beth has it in there. Are you sure, Miss Taro D? Looky. I've got these wonderful. Hear that? Ooh. And one of my tiles finally got their bag from Miss Allison with my black kitties on it. So yes.
Oh, Miss Tara D wants a reading too.
Yay!
Okay. Irene, I have the first card that came out for you is I am surrender. And this is what it says. This is the quote from by Rumi, translated by Coleman Barks. Where kindness is, who cares for peace or war? Where goodness acts, who hears prayer or quarrel? Surrender, yield. If not, your pride's a stone. And the goddess is Astarte. Astarte was the Phoenician goddess of fertility, sex, and love and war. She had dual roles, both of which were connected to the planet Venus, which rises in the heavens in the morning or the evening, depending on the time of year. As queen of the morning star, she was the goddess of war. As queen of the evening star, she was the goddess of passionate love. Astarte exemplifies the two sides of Venus, love and war. She describes duality, sun and moon, life and death, dark and light, war and peace. Duality is the conduit towards strife and struggle as we reach for what we need in our lives, reacting to the point of surrender. Where there is no duality, we can eventually find peace. And the challenge is struggle, and the gift is love and peace. I love this card. I love what it says. And the two other cards that came out for you, Irene, is and in many ways, the first one is shine, hold your head high, and you see the moon there. But the one I really love for you is forgiveness, compassion, and kindness. And sometimes it's really hard for us to feel compassion and kindness towards someone who has wronged us or somebody that is irritating the living daylights out of us. But that's the people that need it most. And that's what I have for you, Irene.
Okay, so Irene. Wow. So Irene, your goddess, I'm just going to take this down off here. And she says, that's me, Irene, War and Peace. And Urban Forest has joined us as well. And I tell you what,
I'll tell
I
you
had
what.
a wonderful reading from this handsome gentleman yesterday. So thank you for popping in and saying hello. And Irene said, this means so much right now, Nancy. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Irene, you got Pachamama, and she is one of the most ancient. There's a mountain that's sacred to her in the Andes, and I believe it can be seen from Machu Picchu. But you have Pachamama, and it's all about honoring the earth. And it says here, and again with harvesting, so honoring ourselves. What are we harvesting? Making sure that we're harvesting the memories, the energy, the future. It's kind of how can you harvest the future? But knowing that by harvesting now and replanting, we continue the cycle of death and rebirth. So it's a constant continuum of um, of planting, harvesting, and rinse and repeat, so to speak. So the Earth Mother Goddess of the Andes calls you to protect the sacred land on which you walk. Treasure your connection to the earth and recognize that you are part of a larger ecological web. Embody the spirit of stewardship and gratitude, knowing that in caring for the earth, you care for yourself and future generations. So I feel like she is there for you, harvesting this sense of having to protect the land, harvesting that strength, that passion, that integrity, to help whatever nonprofits, doing what you can to yourself to help with caring for the land. And I know you say you live quite a bit in and out of your car. You do a lot of traveling and you camp. So she's recognizing that aspect, and I think this is a time where you might be wanting to start harvesting more, wanting to get into more, wanting to be more proactive. And from the witch oracle, you got the witch card. And so everything that you need, you are a woman in total control of herself. You are sovereign, you are divine, and you use, this is based off of an image of a witch card. This is beautiful. This is about, for me, this is like the magician card. This is about having everything you need within yourself, but all this is not going to happen unless we believe in ourselves. And I think that you are at this point where um, you're ready to start utilizing all the tools that you have, your own power, your own magic, your own wisdom, your knowledge, your experience, and putting that forward and start and harvesting that to be able to maybe do more for the land, to maybe start, I don't know where this just came from, maybe start your own eco-based nonprofit or local group in the community where you become a part of the movement. And I like that because then I'm looking at your tarot cards and I got Six of Earth. So that's all about, having gratitude, reciprocating, people giving money. Let me open up because something had caught my attention in this book earlier. Generosity, others' generosity, you giving to the earth, unexpected resources, happy surprises. So, harvesting what you're going to be doing moving forward. And when Nancy was talking about Astarte and how she's considered the night and evening star, I got the star card for you as Nancy was saying that.
Ooh.
And so, whatever these dreams are that you have, these goals, know that you have that power, that connection to keep manifesting when you wish upon a star. That is the spell that we're taught as children. Starlight, star bright, for star I see tonight. That is a spell. You are seeing a star, you're putting energy, you're making a wish, you're trying to manifest something. So you have the heavens, that guiding light, you have the earth under your feet, you have the generosity of others, and then you have this yourself, because this is you in the middle directing this energy. And with Pachamama's help, being able to harvest what it is that you want to do moving forward that helps the earth, the animals, etc. So that's what I have for you, my dear. And hey, Joe Megan, welcome, welcome. I think I've seen you in Stephen, Cosmic Orphans chat. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in,
Yes.
stopping by. It's always nice to see friendly new faces. And let's see. Yes, Urban Forest did a pop-up yesterday. Lots of wonderful readings and first time. I usually only record monthly readings. Well,
Oh,
I think I can say, not just on behalf of myself, but everybody else, we would love to see you do some more pop-up
I'm
lives.
going to have to subscribe to you, Urban Forest.
I think
We'll
you
write you
should.
down. I will. I certainly will.
And before I get to Urban's reading, I'm going to go ahead and make that handsome gent a mod, and he can go ahead and put his channel link in the chat, unless somebody else would like to do that for me. And let's see, who else do we have in here that could have a wrench? So let me pause that. And where are you, you handsome gent? There we go. All righty. Okay. Oh, and Pamela. Oh my goodness. Here. You have been always in my chat, so let me add you as a mod.
Okay, I just put his link in the chat. So,
Wonderful. Thank you.
oh, so did Maruta. She is quick.
Yeah, she's quick, that one. You gotta watch out for her.
I tell you what. I tell you what.
I tell you what. So,
Okay, let me subscribe real quick. Boom.
So now we are reading
Right.
for
Oh, well, I was already subscribed. Okay.
Miss Tarot D.
Ah. Okay.
Harvest Goddess.
I am easily confused. Okay, we're doing Miss Parody. I've got her cards ready. Are you ready? The first card that I have for you, Miss Tara D, is I am wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's perfect for you because you are very wise. The quote is the middle path is the way to wisdom. And the goddess is Sophia. Sophia is the goddess of wisdom. The unseen Sophia is an unbodied concept in many religions. As a goddess, she has similarities to the Egyptian goddess Isis. Sophia is the face of the divine feminine, the unseen, the unacknowledged, she who has been denigrated and ignored. She is the denied feminine within the construct of many religions. We still live in a patriarchal world in which began some 4,000 years ago. However, times are changing in the many Western countries. Women have more education and power over their lives than ever before. This is not so on a global level. It is time for our feminine wisdom, intuition, inner strength, depth, and mystery, and emotional intelligence to become part of what will hopefully become an egalitarian world. By connecting and revealing our feminine wisdom, we awaken ourselves and others. The challenge is invisibility, and the gift is awakening. And the cards that I got to go with that, Ms. Tara D, is enlightenment. Let the goddess light fill you. And I think you have already got this because you are such a light. And I love the other card. It's bright future. The darkest hour is just before dawn, because look at the light. She's holding up the light, and she has a cloak of stars. Isn't that beautiful? I just love these two, and I think they really go along with Sophia and the promise of the divine feminine just blossoming. And that's what I have for you, sweetie.
Wow, where do I start? Well, I will start by saying Fatima has joined us. So, Fatima, good to see you, my dear. Give
Yes.
Odelia and John my best. And Miss Taro D said, "This is so beautiful, Nancy."
Oh,
And so did Beth. So, alrighty, Miss Taro D. Goddesses, I pulled from the obsidian veil deck. And I'm looking for my book because I am not too familiar with this goddess. And there it is. You got the goddess Thutmose. And look at she's pretty badass. I love that card. Beautiful. And Thutmose is fairness prevails when truth is upheld. I wield the scales with impartiality. And one of your or other oracle cards is the judge. So we've got a feeling that there's something maybe going on here with legalities, with the legal system. I know a little bit about you, so I'm kind of getting a feeling of where this is going, but let's learn a little bit about Thutmose. Um, Let me find her because Vixen doesn't put his cards in order in the description. So if you want to find where somebody is, you got to look their name up here. Um, where's that? There she is, page 51. And she is known as Sacred Justice. So I'm just going to show that again. Because originally I thought those were incense burners, but those are actually scales of justice. So she is a lots of Greek today. You know, we got the Celtic and we really got the Greek going on here. She is a mythological figure from ancient Greece associated with divine law, order, and justice. And I just heard doon doon in my head. If anybody remembers Law and Order, you hear that doon doon. That's immediately what I heard. So I'm feeling like this is something to do with having something to do with the legal system, whether through personal, through work, or something, but scales of justice.
Mm-hmm.
So her story highlights the importance of upholding moral values, following the laws of nature, and seeking justice for all. And yes, I know how that relates to you. Renowned for her impartiality and commitment to justice, she presides over court, ensuring fairness, adherence to the laws of the gods,
Mm-hmm.
cosmic order, balance between right and wrong, fairness, and rewarding righteous and punishing the unjust. Wow. So you've got some, so
Yeah.
for harvesting coming into the season, it feels like stuff that is going on. I know possibly personally, but I'm feeling like this could be, again, workplace related. Um, you've got some of this energy, this mojo going on here where things are going to be taking place. And I'm seeing, positive cards. One card, Miss Tarot D, that gave me a little, and yes, the S, this Tarot D, I wasn't thinking about that, but yes. Now, this one here, I was like, really? Miss Tarot D? Priestess of original innocence? Girl, innocence, I'll leave the door open for you, but I had to laugh because I could hear you saying, going, oh, Miss Tarot D, innocent. But here, original innocence, I'm not going to open necessarily the book. Actually, I might a little bit because for me, you do help people
Oh,
that are innocent. You strive to help people who have been hurt, that have been maligned, that have been lost within the system, and um, you try to, and those who have lost their innocence. And I won't delve into more than that, but actually, I don't think that's exactly where she's going with that, but that's where I'm feeling. And so
mm-hmm.
you're being asked to transform the perpetual thought of what is wrong with me into what is in the way of me experiencing my innocence right now. You are treasured as is. Wrap that truth around you in this moment. So during times when things get heavy, things get down, and of course, too, with the cancer, just know that you are that beautiful, innocent energy um, in the way of helping others, and to make sure you give that to yourself as well. Now, the other card, though, from the Witch Oracle is the Judge. And so this is in judge of others, making sure we're, also this could be in judgment of us. But no, in this instance here, you are on that throne. You have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you are in the right. And when I say the right, this is not from ego, from power over. This is you knowing what needs to be done. You know that when people try to pull bullshit over your you are this judge, you are this queen in her throne, and nothing gets past you. And I pulled a couple tiles for you, and I pulled the world card. Things are coming full circle. Things have reached a completion. Feels like something new is coming into the work, something, a new direction, and possibly a new beginning for you moving forward. And the other one, oh wow, the magician. You have all the tools you need to follow through with this. I know there are days when, because of the cancer and all that, there's not a lot of energy, there's a lot of fatigue and stuff, but just know that the power is within you. You are tapped in. Your amazing black salt, your amazing Florida water. You are tapped in. You connect to above, to the below, and you come into that middle, and you know how to direct people, not just energy. You know how to direct people. You know where things need to go. You know where people need to be. And that's what I have for you. I love these. I mean, innocence. Yes, I love that card. I love the reading. So let's see. Thank you, Miss Tarot D, for letting me read for you. More like the the harlot card. I know, right? But in this instance, did I miss? Maruta says, "Look higher, Heather." Okay, yeah, the SVU. I think that's what she was referring to. Oh, Oh my God, yes, oh, okay, okay. Wow. Well, that just kind of confirms all that. Yes, that is all true. And do you work advocacy? Oh, does she ever? Um, and yes, and more. Now I have another show, new series to watch. Well, I used to love watching SVU, but after a while, the stories they were told were actual real things that can have happened. And after a while, it just, the energy got to me. I had to stop watching it. But Mariska Hargitay is a great actress. Ice T is on that show, as far as I know. Remember when Richard Belzer was on that show? So great cast, great stories, but now, if I do happen to catch it, it's in very small doses. Let's see, Maruta says, oh, I see what you said. Okay, you're just so much legal stuff. Yep. Okay, Miss Terrell D's sharing, and give me a couple of drinks and I will talk shit too. Let's see. Aspasi, if you live in the US, you can email me, please. All righty. Tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. Woo, Miss Terrell D, you feeling turned on? You go, girl. You go after them. Thank you. And let's see. And Beth said that was an amazing reading, you too. We appreciate that, Beth. Thank you. Janet Green, and oh, you met her husband. We were on a panel together. Very cool. Who remembers that that movie, The Love Guru, or whatever, with Michael Myers, and he would always greet people with Mariska Hargitay, Mariska, and then when she met him, he was like Mariska Hargitay, Mariska Hargitay. It was really funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, great cast. So, well, we're caught up. We are at 6:30.
Yes.
So this was wonderful. I'm glad everybody was able to join us. Ms.
I had a
Terry
good
D,
time. I
Fatima.
really
Me
did.
too. So,
Y'all are just great in the chat. You make it so much fun.
Y'all do. And make sure everyone to check out Tail to Two. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, Tail Two. So this is what happens when you have coffee during a show. I'm going to look into her more. She sounds like a very interesting Celtic goddess. And so, whatever, welcome starting the harvest season. And this Friday, Jonathan Daly and I will be doing a live painting session again on my channel. So we may even be talking a little bit about Lunacide as well, because that's going to be August 1st. And yeah, everybody, thank you. And then maybe Allison, I have to check with Allison. I know her son's coming into town to stay for a while, so I'll check with her to see if there's a Friday show. Oh, and Wednesday, yes, I almost forgot. Jackie's Crystal Moon, as long as our schedules stayed the way they are. Jackie and I will be back this Wednesday to be discussing the next in line of the court cards of the Pentacles, and we'll be talking about the Queen of Pentacles. So, alrighty, yes, the Love Guru. So I do the Mariska Hargitay mantra. It is quite the mantra. Thank you. Yes, thank you everybody for subscribing to Urban. He's a wonderful reader. And Friday I'll be posting. Yes.
Awesome.
Check that out.
Awesome.
Me fire signs. I always go for the Saggy readings and the Aries as well. So, and Irene loves the Celtic info too. Me too. So, everybody, thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Wonderful.
And have a great week, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you again.